The NFL draft is less than a week away. Let's go ahead and redraft the first round of the 2007 draft. And let me just tell you, this draft class was super top heavy. The first 10 picks, loaded. What's funny about what I just said about how top heavy this draft was and how loaded the beginning, Jamarcus Russell was the first pick. The guy universally known as the biggest bust in NFL history. You know, the fatty from LSU, that guy. Didn't watch tape. They tricked him, and they still took him. So who are the Raiders going to get this time? Because something tells me Jamarcus Russell's not going to be in this redraft. So really the two guys it comes down to, Joe Thomas and Calvin Johnson. And at first you're like, okay, you go tackle first overall. That's like the universal thing. But then I thought about it. Joe Thomas, no shade to him. There's only one Calvin Johnson, man. There's only one Megatron. Like, this could be a franchise changer. This is the Al Davis pick. Give me Megatron to the Raiders. At number 2, the Lions are sad they did not get Megatron, but they are still very happy that they end up with Joe Thomas, the best left tackle in my childhood memory, everything. At number 3, just like the Lions were sad that they didn't get Calvin Johnson, the Browns are sad that they did not get Joe Thomas. However, Darrelle Revis staying by Lake Erie, going to Cleveland. This is awesome. At 4, we're going to have Adrian Peterson come off the board to Tampa Bay. Towards the end of the John Gruden years, let's just run the heck out of the football, man. Yes, we're 4 for 4 on Hall of Famers. We'll break that trend, but still get a very good player at 5th overall. Joe Staley heads to the Cardinals. The Cardinals would be in the Super Bowl the next year. Something tells me that maybe they do a better job of protecting Kurt Warner against the likes of Lamar Woodley and James Harrison if Joe Staley's there. Might not make a difference, but who knows? Maybe Kurt Warner gets a second ring. All right, we're back to drafting Hall of Famers. A guy who should have been first ballot this year, Marshall Yonda's going to go to the Washington team, at the time known as the Redskins. At 7, the Vikings can no longer get Adrian Peterson. That stinks, but you still got Marshawn Beast Mode Lynch. And we're back to a streak of Hall of Famers. The Falcons are going to go ahead and grab Patrick Willis. At 9, the Dolphins would go Ted Ginn. Instead, let's go ahead and get them a star tight end in Greg Olsen. And then rounding out our top 10, let's go ahead and get the Texans and Matt Schaub another center in Ryan Khalil. He can help pass protect. You have good weapons there right now. Owen Daniels, Andre Johnson. You got some guys. Let's help that offensive line. At 11, the 49ers can't get Joe Staley, but they can still get a very good tackle with lots of starting experience in Jermon Bushrod. And this is where, obviously, Jermon Bushrod really started it, but the draft starts to thin out a little bit with a few exceptions, but still really good players, guys who played for a decade and were a starter for